Hello, everyone. This is Daniel, and I'm going to be talking about how we should respect others and just love everyone, no matter what skin color they have. I mean, for one thing, we're all equal. I'm a white person, but I don't talk trash to black people, especially calling them, the word that we're not supposed to say. We're all equal, and we're all supposed to love. But it seems like America just, seems like America is filled with prejudice towards others. It's filled with every other kind of hate. The middle-aged people are, so sick and tired of what's going on that they're going in outlets. They're like considering that, so they're basically they're being filled with anger towards the government. Like the middle-aged people are being filled with anger towards the government, and being filled with anger towards the government will not help anything. It will only make things worse, like my parents said. And I think the reason why they were angry was because that's what happened. It's one of the things that was the problem with the people today is that we're people that are frustrated with the old way, and of course the middle-aged people have been through a lot. Like for one thing, they've been through the end of and even the middle of Vietnam. I think some of the older ones have been through. The youngest in that time were through the end of Vietnam, and that was a ugly time. And that was just a few of them. Another set of old middle-aged people, their fathers have been lost in the Vietnam War, and some of them have gone crazy, and they've gone poor, and they don't know what to do because they don't have proper education for that kind of thing, or kind of lifestyle, or wherever it is. That's just one thing that I want to clear up, is that no matter how bad the situation is, you don't go with anger through that kind of thing. Just don't go through anger, and be calm. Think about what you're doing. Think about who that president candidate really is. If he's a different candidate, just vote. And if it's different, then you can be tired of it. But we did not have any good candidates this year. We certainly did not. And unfortunately, candidates we had this, for the presidential candidates this 2016 year or 2017. I think it was 2016. But really, when we had those, it was really one of the worst candidates we had to have. I understand. Hillary Clinton was not going to change anything, and you believed she was going to make things worse. But Donald Trump already made things worse. He did some right things, but not a lot of right things. If you were to go online, there'd be a lot of restrictions and all that. There was a lot of restrictions to medication and all that. You can see where this is going. So when Donald Trump said we were going to make America great again, he was going after the middle-aged people because he knew what he was doing. He was making America great again, but he just wanted to make America his way of great again, or his way rich again, because he wanted to get rich off of people when he already was getting rich, and he didn't. I don't know. He made companies with people like a GPI and, that kind of offensive problem. So, in that sort of way, just think about who you're voting for. Just look up all these sources and just do your homework. Now back to the thing where we call after the people who are millennials and younger, the people that are full of hate. It seems like they really want to make things worse with the elderly people. They really want to do that. I mean, I'm not saying it in a mean way, but I'm telling you because you don't know what you're doing for yourselves. Actually, we are all black and white. We are all different we're different generations of people, and we're different types of people. I mean, I'm like a redhead from Ireland and is Italy, and pretty sure we all came from one part of the family or another. Seems like we all came from, except for a few of us, came from gods and goddesses. But we are all humans. We all learn about God one way or the other, even if we die, and that seems to be the main thing. But of course, if we're if we believe in being racist towards one another, I mean, racism hurts. Racism hurts. Racism, defeats the purpose of I want this and I want that. I mean, for anyone that spreads racism and hate, then they're, I mean, racism is very bad. I mean, we've had people fight against the police, and we've had a lot of wars and fights because of this. Do you really want that? Do you really like people fighting? Seems like it, doesn't it? But do you really want to see people fighting, or do you want to, in the end, fight your way away from horrible situations? Because you're going to get in a horrible situation one of these days. Unfortunately, I know what hell's like. And you're going to go in a horrible situation if you keep doing that. So if you keep fighting and make people fight, I mean, America is very much messed up. America fights people who are white and black. It's like we've gone to the 70s again. And that's not a good time. I mean, if we were to go to the 60s, we would be worse off than we were just today. I mean, we would be still worse off. It seems like we've calmed down, but the let's say the middle-aged people or the baby boomers are frustrated, and they're aggravated easily, and they're poor, it seems like, and they're not thinking, and they hate ads, and they hate everything that's taking away their freedom, and they want their freedom. Then the next generation up is the 70s and the 60s and 70s. That generation seems to be kind of in between it all, because then there's the millennials, which seem to only care about certain type of technology. They are used to technology, and they really hate this. They really hate this brand new way of things going, like the especially with the GPI. They're really frustrated with that, and they really hate how Donald Trump is going to. I mean, this generation, my generation, has voted for Hillary Clinton, and that's a lot of us. A lot of this millennials kind of thing has voted for Hillary Clinton because they knew that Donald Trump was pretty much trouble. You should probably see the even the people in Massachusetts, or maybe the people that are from different parts of the world, just how they think of Donald Trump. I mean, I've been with people that are in countries that are worse than us because they've seen pretty much corruption beyond compare, and then they saw Donald Trump and they saw Donald Trump as being a corrupt guy, and we knew that Donald Trump is actually a corrupt guy that just wants money. All he wants is money, and all he's going to get is money. But he's in the wrong way. He is no good Christian. That's all I can say. He says he's a Christian, but no, not really. He's not really a Christian. He's just in it for the money and ladies, and he's also in it for power and fame. He just wants all that. And that's not going to get you heaven. That kind of thing is called greed and corruption. Corruption lands into hell. And we must pray for government. We really should, because they're really out of control right now. And then another thing I want to talk about is the so the last generation of this right now it's 2000 to 2018. That generation seems to be loving to play with guns, because the NRA, I know this is me having my opinions, but the NRA just likes their guns so much that they would fearmonger people. They would post propaganda, and that's another thing. Propaganda is not a good thing. If anyone's into propaganda, exit out of there, because that's not going to do you good. That's going to cause you to either support the person that is power hungry, or that's going to cause you to be fearful of others. I mean, if you support PewDiePie, just leave, because he's full of propaganda. I mean, I like him for his book reviews, but that's pretty much the only thing I like him for. He's also even PewDiePie is a very powerful guy, and I don't like him for that. But I do like him for how truthful he is for the books. But he's still getting people to think like him, and it's not a good thing. There's also a lot of other YouTubers that are I mean, I saw a video of his. Maybe we should leave PewDiePie alone. But I was just there studying propaganda, and he was saying, "Oh, I'm humble, and this is humility. These people are humble." Calling yourself humble is actually proud. I don't pretend to be always humble, but pride is part of the devil. The devil is very proud. I think this technology, this cell phones and this iPad thing, this iPhone and iPhone thing, iPhone and iPad thing is just messing people's lives up. And I'm sorry, but you must find a way to talk to. I mean, one of the lines that a teacher said is that kids say, yeah, okay, let me just comment to you on this, something that I just heard from my parents. Basically, I just saw this. Basically, the kids that were in the teacher's classroom, teacher said, "What is your worst nightmare?" And the majority of the kids said, I think that's what happened. The majority of the kids said, I believe, that the mothers on their cell phones are their worst nightmare. Think of these little poor kids. Think of these poor little kids. I mean, These poor kids are just wanting to talk to their mom, and she just on her cell phone, just tapping away and not talking to any of the parents. My parents are more careful than that. Unfortunately, they're just, middle aged. They rarely go to Facebook. My mom goes to Facebook more often, but my dad, he quit Facebook. But this was their lives were more involved with things like television and all that, where they could be part of a family. Their lives are more involved with their families and all that for almost a whole lifetime. And now we have parents that are like 26, 27. Like a good chunk of their lives are basically cell phone ridden. I mean, imagine this. For 10 years, they have been on their cell phones as a 27-year-old. And that's 17 years without a cell phone. But that's a whole lot of other times when they were on their electronics. They're accounting for their electronics. Then they had their phones since 2006. Actually, that's 12 years. Maybe they have had their cell phones for half their time. And they've grown up as teenagers using their phones, just to chat away. Then their cell phone life is improved, and now they're just, don't talk to your cell phone. It's an artificial life, artificial way of doing things. A cell phone makes you depressed because you just have no one to talk to. When no one has anyone to talk to, they become depressed because they don't have anyone to go to or do anything with each other, because cell phone takes away their fun and talking to each other in the park or next to a tree, biting in restaurants and all that. If you're in a restaurant, all you can do is, talk away on the cell phone. Sometimes you make video calls, like talk to your cell phone and hold the cell phone and talk to this, like talk to people like this. Then there's also the fact that people are Then there's the fact that then there's the fact that people are, they're talking away on their cell phones on the restaurant. That's causing suicidal thoughts because they have no lives. They're being bullied on their cell phones. They want to talk to people on their cell phones, but they're not really getting involved with people's, if a cell phone controls you, what's controlling you? The cell phone that's making you a puppet? I'm sorry to say that, but a cell phone should not control your life. Not even a computer. Go talk to a person personally. Maybe this is the reason why there's a majority, like a huge amount of people breaking up in America because of their cell phone. Now back to the race thing. It's not about violence. Even if we have violence on the cell phone to propagate the agenda of race and violence, this is me talking to you in a kind way just to say it's not about racism. We all have personal lives. We're all humans. We all have love. Humans are filled with their personal lives. They are, like I said, humans are, they're built from God We are God's creation, sometimes less. We are born from the mother's womb. God created us in her womb, in the mother's womb, and then we became babies, and then we became kids. We've lived a long time. We've lived such a long time in our human history. Some of us are lived longer than others. But imagine this. You're living for 85 years. And how many days is that? 365 days in a year. So imagine that. And there's 24 hours in a day and 60 minutes in an hour and 60 seconds in a hour. And that's like tick, tick, tick. And that's a second, But that's a long time. A day is a very long day. And in those 100,000 days, I was assuming so for 100 years, that's 365,000 days. So for those 250,000 days or more, doesn't it seem like that's a long time to live? And there's also buildup of pain, suffering, love, joy, personal lives, personal attributes, everything that's personal to us, everything that we store in our minds. I mean, so some people even forget about what they've done because their brains can't handle it anymore, or they can't think about these things anymore. They want to think about it anymore. They get depressed, and also the fact that they just don't use their brains because they just can't handle their lives anymore, or unless it's filled with uncertainty because their family history was Alzheimer's, That's a long time to live with their lives. I mean, 250,000 days, that's a lot of days. And to live your life with pain, joy, love, suffering, and to live your life with hate or love or other things that you have lived with, like war, like peace, like every attribute that's personal. I mean, yeah. We're all humans. Maybe less than human. Maybe more than we thought we were. But we're, people that, have suffered tremendous depression because of their cell phones, or even worse. Guys, this is Daniel Mayo. This is my name. This is my picture. These are my eyes. This is my nose. This is my hair. And I'm speaking to you as a human being just to bring you peace. I want peace. But I'm not speaking for world peace. I'm speaking among you as brethren for peace. Don't argue amongst each other. Don't bring up topics like hate. Bring up topics like of love. Also, if you have a cell phone, excuse me. My good advice is look for a cell phone. Like a place to put your cell phone. Just put it in a drawer. Both of you put it in a drawer. Then, and also look for your cell phone and say to your friends on your cell phone, I know you're from far away, but I have a personal life. So within a few weeks, I'll be done. And then just say it like that. And then put your cell phone away, put your life away. I mean, Don't befriend anyone, but once in a while, just speak to your friends because you have personal lives. I know it's very hard for some of you because most of your life has been you've been on your cell phone for most of your life. For the 13-year-olds, you've been practically on this technology for all of your lives. Guys, this is not healthy. I know it isn't. So this is, you know, we have to talk to people, hold your hands to your girlfriend and boyfriend. You know, it's not going to stop. But if you have friends on your block of the town, I mean, might have to be the older friends that you have to talk to. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't know what to do. If you have friends that are Christian, just tell them, I don't need a cell phone. You don't either. People are from all over the world. They have different ideas and agendas for your type of America, for your type that live in your in your country of England. And I'm speaking to the world, but I mean, for any of you that are in third world countries, all you have to do is think, and just use a cell phone for business. That's all you have to do. And for everything else, just talk. I know it seems like it's silly, but maybe Americans are the only ones that are really using the cell phones and abusing it. Generation Y, this is not the time. Of course, this is the time to look at this video, but consider this time wasted. If you're on your cell phone and you're just talking to everyone else as well as looking at this video, because the more time you go on your cell phone, the more time. I mean, you have friends in all over the world. If you consider yourself picking up a friend by friend, and you think of getting like 400 friends on Facebook, those are blank walls that you're talking to. Those are 400 people that have possible fake accounts, that have nothing but backstabbing behaviors and people all over the world that don't care about your country, people that use propaganda, people that are racist, and you're basically hurting yourself. The more people you get, the more people you talk to, the more you hurt yourself. At least these are your high school friends. I mean, I just wanted to just understand that we're all human. I understand that you are part of the human world, but what are you? Because a cell phone is less than human. A cell phone is less than human. But you can be human. You don't have to be artificial. When you are artificial, I consider yourself, I don't know. You know what you are. Humans, they talk to each other socially. We're not tribal. But we are more than animal. We are a species created by God that is not really a species, but a set of humans that take care of all the animals, that talk to God, that also, basically, we're above animal. And a cell phone is below an animal. We've got to be human. There's a famous line in a Spanish play that what was that guy's name? Donkey, I think it was. Donkey. I don't know. It was his quote. They said, I was created by God. I was created by God to be human. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm less. That's what his quote was, and sometimes we are less than human, but doesn't mean we can't be less than human all the time. I mean, Hitler was less than human because he was purely possessed by demons to influence his mind. But we're not to be less than humans by our cell phones, but the cell phones who influence our minds. Hitler was worse than a cell phone, of course, but, fortunately, we can, the cell phone was created by the devil, in a way, just to trick us into thinking that we are less than human. I think the devil talks through the cell phone in some ways. To our minds, that the cell phone looks cool. That's amazing. But the more people you get, the more depressed you get because you are lonely in the wall, just hiding yourself away from humans. And the more people you get, the more less human you become, and the more broken you become, and the more hateful you become, and more everything that's bad for you, and the more negative you become because of the cell phone. It's never good to be filled with, bad thoughts, negative thoughts. Because cell phones can ruin people's lives. Also, Facebook is really good at doing that because we're just a number on Facebook. We're just a number. And if we're just a number on Facebook, what are we? That's what Facebook considers us, a number. Yet we're not a number. We are no number. God did not create us to be a number. Adam may have been the first person, but he did not a number at Eve as the second person. We are no number. We are just we're just created by the millions and thousands, to the billions even. But we are no number. A cell phone is a number. Facebook is a number. All of this is a number. But how many humans are there? We can't even count the humans that are born on Earth. Nor can technology count how many people are on Earth. It can try, but it can't. Nor can it count the deaths. It can't count that. just not good enough. So we are no number. Bicycle's a number. But even then, a bicycle can't be a number. A cell phone is like a number, but it's not a number. Facebook is just in a number way. In a way, it's a number because Facebook counts how many people are on there. It gives you a barcode of what number you really are. Really, guys, internet really is a number. You have a barcode and a number. And this is what you've paid for. And, people like Susan and I think it's Zuckerberg. Mr. Zuckerberg really they're really billionaires. They don't mean it, but they're really ruining people's lives. So who are they? Zuckerberg can't be number one. He may think himself as number one, but I don't think he's really number one. He may just consider himself the number one source or the barcode, but not many people go to him. Not by the millions. Unless I think it wrong, but yeah. The only thing that goes by the millions are online sources that, think about the millions, like YouTube or anything other like that. I'm sure there are billions of people I'm pretty sure there's a billion people on Facebook. But I'm pretty sure there's also 100 million people on YouTube as well. And there's also other people that go to YouTube that brings it to 1 billion. Not everyone has a cell phone or technology to go to a computer. Some people have better lives than this. Some people are elderly and they care for their personal lives. Back then, people had tea parties. This may not sound significant, but tea party was a group of people within 2 to 10 people all at once. They were personal friends, and they all had tea. And they talked about subjects of love or politics, and they were very calm about it. And they talked about beautiful subjects like someone going to a wedding or something like that, or personal subjects. A tea party was, a get-together for a personal friendship conversation. They even talked about, the medical things or anything that can actually spread to their friends. A tea party was like a little tea that they can sip. And, they would get this beautiful tea, and it was the most beautiful thing ever. Lemon tea. They'd have it in the summer, and it would be cool tea. Tea would be cool, or it would be warm. And it would be the best tea that this person could make. And they would always go to that person's house because they had the best tea. It was nostalgic. It was a very nostalgic experience. Some people even do it today, but they're dying out. And now the new generation, they don't know what that is. They just think, a tea party. That is just that is just a party where people just dump out the tea into this harbor, or they think it's just, a thing where they have a little dull sip the tea, and they don't know what it is. But friends get together. A little tea party is when a friend gets together and enjoy themselves completely and utterly. the most beautiful thing they can ever do. On the porch or in the room, with the open windows, outdoors, in their personal space. The most beautiful thing they can ever do. They even had picnic tea parties. And these people would just drink the tea, and it was the best thing ever. In the 50s, people were grilling outdoors and having friendships with each other, and they didn't even have to worry about certain crimes. Kids, even if the schools were segregated, kids didn't have to worry about gun violence. And with the lives right now, we're more broken than ever. I believe more broken than we're more broken than the people in the black people back then, because even the black people had tea parties and they talked about their personal lives, and they said, even though we're poor, we're still going to have the most beautiful cooking people in the South that we can ever have. We're the most that aunt African name. I don't know what it is. I don't know their name, but we can call them Martha. Aunt Martha can really cook up a fine okra, and she can make that chicken fried very well. She can make it very so well that she fattens up the whole community. And they would have southern stories where her cooking was so good that the whole America, like the whole South of America, I don't know, like all of this one state got fat because of her. Like Aunt Martha. She cooked up a very fine fried food, and the whole state was fed because of her. Something like that. Today, we're just thinking about a cell phone. A cell phone that just doesn't care about us. Maybe too many people are not cooking anymore. We're not thinking about fried chicken. They don't even know what a farm is. A farm is full of animals. And animals that, get slaughtered, meat get taken out of their bodies. And yes, we eat cow muscles. We eat cows' innards as burger. And that sounds really horrible, but eating a cow is like eating a burger and steak. But we do it because it's, a good thing. And also, we eat the chicken. Chicken comes from bird muscle, from the chest or the leg. Like a chicken wing is literally their wings. And a chicken drumstick is literally their legs. Yeah. It's a chicken. A drumstick, it comes from a chicken. And you know that turkey on the table? As you could say, oh, it's just a turkey, it's just a it's just, oh, hey, I like that turkey a lot. What is that thing? It's a real gobblehead. That's all you know, that it's meat. It's the only meat you know. But you also eat cows, you eat pigs, you eat chickens, you eat all kinds of animals except for maybe wild animals, but everything you eat comes from animals or plants. So know this. We're just human. We're trying to survive. And we have to love. Yet, we also have to believe that whatever is getting us suppressed, we have to get rid of it. And we have to bring our source of love, just towards other people. Everyone that's a viewer I believe all of those are humans. But then there can be a false viewer that is not human, that is like a robot. Those are rare on YouTube, by the way. But there are a lot of humans that view your content. And by the way, if you are anyone that views a video, just know that everyone on YouTube, except for a few of you, and you can't tell, but everyone is on YouTube is practically human. The viewers are practically human. So anyone that is human must understand that they're helping each other, either hate or love. This is not where it used to be, guys. I don't think it's ever going to be the same again, unless we do something about it. This world is turning artificial. Someday all the trees will become artificial. You don't know what's going to be, but it's going to be not soon, or soon, depending on what's going on. A third of the trees are probably going to die, but what are we going to have to do about the artificial trees? We know how to make artificial trees, but in how many ways? That's an unknown question. Plastic trees were first. Then came everything else. First, we knew how to trim trees, but then the artificial trees were plastic trees and everything else. So, yeah. Just live your life. And you live your life with everyone else as literally human. Because if this goes further, we will end up just losing humanity. We'll just not have a true humanity sense. We'll be artificial and broken, just like robots. We'll be cold and sad. Don't live this life, people. Really, just don't live this life. Someday you may understand that this life is very meaningful, okay? Alright, I'll be done now, okay? Bye. It'll just last a few more seconds and then I'll be done. I mean, like, near a minute, okay? Alright.